Hey y'all, Chinese here, also known as China El Colston, of course, actress and indie filmmaker. I wanted to share with y'all some of my favorite black films from the 70s and the 90s that have really influenced me and impacted me and moved me very deeply, either through laughter, through tears, or relatability, or fashion, what have you. So I wanted to mention some black films and black directors, give them some shout outs because without them laying the foreground or laying the foundation and people before them, I would not have the inspiration or motivation to be a filmmaker myself. So let's get started. My favorite film. Now these can be films either where the film is centered around the black character, written by a black person, directed by a black person, starring a predominantly black cast, okay? And I have one honorary, which is Othello. It is written by clearly Shakespeare, directed by a non-black person, but it is the film Othello. It came out, I believe, in 95 or 96, was centered around a black character, Othello, which was portrayed by the magnificent actor, one of my favorite actors, Lawrence Fishburne, and then Al Pacino is my other favorite actor. So, anyway, let me get started with this fabulous list of the 70s of my favorite black films from the 70s. There is something very distinct about the black community, our rhythm, the way in which we walk, talk, certain expressions we use, certain nonverbal communication that we just understand as a black person. So I just wanted to share this with you, and for some of you who may not be aware of some of these films, or some of the films you may be aware of. But anyway, I'm so excited, and here we go. So my favorite 70s black films, which is about a black family, but not written, I believe it wasn't written by a black person. But anyway, I'm going to keep it going. Claudine, starring a wonderfully talented Diahann Carroll and James Earl Jones. Diahann Carroll smashed this role, smashed it, killed it, just stomped on it, you know? And she was nominated for an Oscar for it as well. It was a complex character. These films that I like, the characters are dimensional. The characters are compelling. The stories are compelling. A lot of the films that I like are about family, coming back to the center, restoration of couples and family, and the resiliency of black people, and the intelligence and the creativity. So these are, and humor. And let me just say this, I enjoy all kind of films, but the only thing that's universal are emotions. Emotions are universal regardless of what your ethnic background is. But I just want to give out a shout out to black cinema. And also let me go on and say that I enjoy films out of Japan, China, Italy, Spain. It doesn't matter which country, films that are predominantly about Irish people, Italian people, I can relate to it because they're human beings. Just like a person can relate to a black film because they're human beings. They can relate to the emotions of the character, right? All right, so let's keep it going. As I said, Claudine is my favorite film of the 70s, right? Another list of films I want to give shout outs to is Mahogany, Lady Sing the Blues, Superfly, The Spook Who Sat by the Door, The Wiz, Let's Do It Again, Sparkle, Car Wash, Coolie High. Dope films that have really impacted me. Check them out if you've never seen them. You know, this is an old school list. And I wanted to also give shout outs to some 90 films that have really impacted me. Again, either starring, directed by, or featured or written by a black person. Okay. I have Higher Learning, Boys in the Hood, Always Outnumbered, What's Love Got to Do with It, Jason Lyrics, Low Down Dirty Shame, Honorary Othello, Deep Cover, How Stella Got Her Groove Back, Eve's by You, Soul Food, Dead Presidents, The Five Heartbeats, Best Man, Love Jones. I'm Chi-Town, so Love Jones, of course. Waiting to Exhale, Strictly Business, Set It Off, Mo Better Blues, Jungle Fever, Malcolm X, Crooklyn, New Jack City. I love this film. Sugar Hill, love this film. Juice, Inkwell, Set It Off. Okay, I think I mentioned that. Boys in the Hood, Higher Learning, Okay. Also, I want to give a shout out to the directors, the black directors of the 70s and 90s films that I mentioned that I love, 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 and have been influenced by their artistry. So I'm going to go by my little list here. I have Michael Schultz, Cooley High, and I believe Car Wash too. And Ivan Dixon, who directed The Spook Who Sat by the Door. We have Kevin Rodney Sullivan, who directed How Stella Got Her Groove Back. We have George Tillman Jr., who directed Soul Food. We have Spike Lee, of course. You guys already know his films. Sidney Poitier, who directed Let's Do It Again. Dope comedy. Starring Bill Cosby, of course. And we have Bill Duke, who directed Deep Cover. We have Casey Lemons, who directed and wrote East Bayou, one of my favorite films set in Louisiana. John Singleton. Barry Gordy, who directed Mahogany. Love that film. One of my favorite films, of course. Keenan Ivory Wayans, Low Down Dirty Shit. Hilarious joint. Gordon Parks Jr., who directed Superfly. We have the Hughes brothers. Matty Rich, Inkwell, Straight Outta Brooklyn. But Inkwell is my favorite of Matty Rich films. And we have Ernest Dickerson, who directed Juice and wrote Juice. Forrest Whitaker, who directed Waiting to Exhale. Robert Townsend, of course, Five Heartbeats. That's another one I should have listed, Five Heartbeats. Theodore Witcher, who directed Love Jones. And that's what I have so far. I hope I didn't omit any of the black directors from any of the films I listed. But these films really, really influenced me. I love them. They touch me every time. I laugh at the same moments. Every time I cry at the same moments. They haven't lost their relevance or their power. And I'm just so delighted that I had a chance to experience them as a child, as a teenager, as a young person in her early 20s. And I continue to experience these films, and they have influenced me greatly. So check out some of these films if you haven't, or go down memory lane and experience them again. So I want to thank you, all you black directors and writers and actors who have influenced me and motivated me and moved me with your artistry. It means a lot, and I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, I hope you enjoyed this list. Take care. Peace. Chinese.